Hannah Mitchell, 32, adjusted the neckline of her sapphire blue dress in the mirrored wall of the Regency Plaza's penthouse elevator, her gray eyes steady despite the flutter in her chest. The Crestview Charity Gala, a high society event for her hometown's wealthiest, wasn't her usual territory, but the invitation had sparked a quiet resolve. 15 years ago, she was the foster kid at Lincoln High, mocked for her second-hand clothes and bold ambitions. Now, she was Major Hannah Mitchell, U.S. Army Cyber Command, her military career a closely guarded secret. She'd returned not to flaunt her rank but to face the classmates who'd once made her feel small. The ballroom, perched atop the 50-story plaza, glowed with gold accents and the murmur of polished voices. Hannah stepped out, her low heels muted on the polished floor, her senses sharp. She spotted them at once: Claire Donovan, 34, a biotech CEO with a venomous smile; Tyler Grant, 36, a venture capitalist with an arrogant tilt to his head; and Brooke Ellis, 33, a fashion influencer whose charm hid a cruel streak. They lounged by a sculpture of glass and steel, their laughter sharp. Hannah's throat tightened, memories of their taunts, her frayed notebooks, her clumsy debate speeches, resurfacing. She wasn't here to settle scores, just to prove she'd moved beyond their scorn.
Hannah Mitchell.
A warm voice cut through her thoughts. It was Owen Parker, 35, a former chess club member turned environmental lawyer, his smile genuine. Didn't expect you here.
What's your life like now? Bevor Hannah could reply, Claires voice pierced the air.
Hannah? Still dressing like it's laundry day.
The trio's Laukharter rang out, driving stares.
Claire glided over, her crimson gown catching the light.
What's your gig? Barista?
Uber driver. Hannah's fingers brushed her clutch, but her expression stayed cool.
I've got my hands full, Claire.
You. Biotech, Claire said, smirking. Revolutionizing medicine. Tyler's funding startups. Brooke's got 1 million followers. And you? She scanned Hannah's understated dress. Still scraping by, I bet. The words stung, echoing high school. Claire's jabs at Hannah's worn shoes, Tyler's locker pranks, Brooke's snide whispers. Hannah had fought her way out of foster care, earning her place through grit. Now, she neutralized cyber threats for the nation, but she kept that hidden. Good for you, she said, turning toward a display of silent auction items. Tyler's voice followed. Don't bid on anything fancy, Hannah. Stick to the keychains. More laughter. Hannah's jaw tightened, but her training, stay calm, assess, respond, held her steady. She studied a framed photo, her mind drifting. She'd nearly skipped the gala, but a need to face her past had pulled her here. Her smartwatch buzzed, a coded alert from Captain Mia Larson, her deputy: critical breach.
Grid attack. Stand by.
Hannah's pulse spiked. She'd carved out this night for personal reasons, but Cyber Command was relentless. She tapped a quick reply: Sitrep?
No answer yet. Claires voice carried from the sculpture. Remember Hannah's history project?
That poster that fell apart. The trio cackled. Hannah's cheeks warmed. Her project had won a regional award, but they only recalled the tape peeling off. She considered an exit, her hand on her clutch, when a low rumble vibrated through the ballroom's floor. The sound sharpened, tires screeching below, followed by a metallic thud. Guests paused, murmurs rising. Hannah's instincts kicked in. She mapped the exits, her body alert. This wasn't a civilian vehicle. It was military, deliberate.
The ballroom's oak doors flew open.
A soldier in tactical gear stormed in, his boots echoing. The crowd hushed, eyes wide. He zeroed in on Hannah, saluting crisply.
Major Mitchell. The mission needs you.
Immediate action required.
The room froze. Claires martini glass hit the floor, shattering.
Tyler's smirk vanished. Brooke's phone slipped from her hand. Hannah set her clutch down, her posture shifting to command. What's the situation, Corporal? Corporal Noah Reed, 31, stood firm.
Jeeps outside, ma'am.
Domestic cyber attacks hitting critical infrastructure. Power plants, emergency systems. Command needs your lead. Whispers erupted. Major?
Cyber attack?
Hannah's heart pounded, but her voice was steady. Let's go. She followed Reed out, the crowd parting. Claire's voice, shaky, trailed after her. Hannah?
What's going on?
Outside, the city night buzzed, but a military jeep idled at the plaza's entrance, its matte green frame stark against the valet's luxury cars. Captain Mia Larson waited, her tablet flashing with alerts.
Ma'am, wie we got a Rouge Hacker Group, Codename Blackout, targeting the Midwest Grid.
Power plants are at risk of cascading failure. You're in charge. Hannah nodded, the Gala a distant memory.
Brief ME on the move. Let's roll.
She climbed into the jeep, Larson beside her. As they sped off, Hannah glanced back. Claire, Tyler, and Brooke stood at the entrance, mouths agape, their poise shattered. The jeep's radio crackled with urgent chatter. Hannah slipped on a headset, Larson's voice clear. Blackout's a domestic anarchist cell, anti-government, tech-savvy. They've breached 3 power plants' control systems, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. Blackouts could hit millions in hours. Hannah's mind snapped to mission mode. She'd dismantled domestic threats before, militias, ransomware gangs, but this was massive. The Gala, Claire's taunts, Tyler's arrogance, they faded. She was Major Mitchell, and lives hung in the balance. Larson handed her a tablet with network diagnostics. Their attacks coming from a data center, 20 miles west. It's a fortified site, physical security, armed guards.
Blackouts got a small crew tere, my beat.
Our cyber team's on standby, but you call the shots. Hannah studied the schematics, zooming in on the data center's layout.
Defenses.
Biometric locks, surveillance, perimeter patrols, Larson said. Digitally, they're using custom malware, sophisticated, adaptive. We've got drones. The jeep's tires crunched gravel as it pulled into the ops hub, a fortified warehouse tucked in a wooded stretch 15 miles west of the city. Floodlights cast harsh shadows across Humvees and tech vans, soldiers moving with purpose. Hannah Mitchell stepped out, her sapphire blue dress absurd against the gritty scene. Her gray eyes scanned the perimeter. Chain-link fences, motion sensors, armed sentries. The Gala's glitter was a world away. This was her domain, where every second counted. Captain Mia Larson led her to a command tent, its interior a maze of monitors and cables. Analysts hunched over keyboards, their screens flashing with network diagnostics. The air hummed with urgency, radios crackling with coded updates. Hannah's smartwatch showed 2,130 hours. Blackout's cyberattack on the Midwest power grid was escalating, and the clock was unforgiving. She shed her dress in a side tent, swapping it for fatigues and a tactical vest. The weight grounded her, her civilian self replaced by Major Mitchell. Larson handed her a headset and a tablet updated with real-time data.
Blackouts malware spreading, ma'am.
2 Ohio plants are in emergency mode, Indiana's grid is flickering. If Illinois goes, we're looking at region-wide blackouts, hospitals, 911 systems, all down. Hannah studied the tablet, her fingers swiping through attack vectors. Blackout's code was adaptive, exploiting vulnerabilities in outdated plant systems. What's their endgame? She asked, her voice steady. Chaos, Larson said. Their manifesto, intercepted an hour ago, calls for resetting the system. They want to cripple infrastructure, spark panic. The data center's their nerve hub, 10 miles out. We've got a strike team prepped, but their physical defenses are tight. Hannah nodded, her mind racing. Blackout wasn't just a hacker crew, they were ideologues with guns, holed up in a fortified facility. She'd neutralized domestic threats before. Cult hackers, militia coders, but this was a beast. The Gala's taunts, Claire's smirk, Tyler's jabs, were irrelevant. Lives were at stake. Inside the tent, Lieutenant Jacob Wells, 30, a wiry cyber analyst, briefed the team. Data centers got layered security, retinal scans, steel doors, 6 armed guards patrolling. Digitally, their servers are air-gapped, but we've detected a weak point, an auxiliary network for cooling systems. We can exploit it, but we need physical access. Hannah traced the facility's blueprint on her tablet.
Entrances.
2, Wells said. Main gates a fortress, cameras, floodlights. Service doors less guarded but locked with biometrics.
Quarzrotate ever 30 minutes. Internal Layout. Hannah presset.
Server rooms underground, Wells replied. 2 levels. Guard post on the first, servers below. Blackout's lead coder, alias Spectre, is likely there, running the attack.
Hannahs Eisnerrot.
Spectre was the key. Neutralize him, and Blackout's operation could collapse. She turned to Larson.
Comms with the facility?
None, Larson said. They've gone dark, but we've intercepted their internal chatter. They're cocky, think we can't trace them.
Hannahs lips twitched.
Arrogance was a weakness she'd exploit. Prep a dual approach, she ordered.
Cyber team targets the cooling network, Strike team breaches the service door.
I want options for both. Captain Ethan Rivera, 31, a stocky green beret leading the strike team, stepped forward. Ma'am, we can hit the service door with a silent breach, EMP to fry the locks, then move in. 6 operators, plus a tech to hack the servers. Risk is the guards, they're ex-mercs trained. Plan for resistance, Hannah said. Non-lethal where possible, but prioritize the servers. She'd seen too many ops spiral when corners were cut. Her first mission, a botched raid on a militia server farm, had taught her precision over bravado.
Larson flagget her. Ma'am Drohne feeds live.
A monitor showed the data center. A squat concrete building ringed by razor wire, its lights dim to avoid attention. 2 guards patrolled the perimeter, rifles slung. Hannah studied their patterns, noting a blind spot near the service door. That's our entry, she said. Rivera, time your breach for their shift change, 2,215 hours. Rivera nodded, relaying orders to his team. Hannah turned to Wells.
How fast can you crack the cooling network?
With physical access, 10 minutes, Wells said. But we need to be inside the server room. Their malware's mutating. Every hour, it locks out more grid controls. Hannah's jaw tightened. Blackout was playing for time, betting on chaos. She wouldn't let them win. Get your gear, she told Wells. You're going in with Rivera. The tent buzzed with activity, soldiers checking rifles, analysts typing furiously. Hannah stepped outside, the night air cool against her skin. The ops hub pulsed with purpose, Humvees idling nearby. She thought of the Gala, Claire's laugh, Brooke's sneer. They'd never understand this, the weight of command. She pushed the thought aside, her focus absolute. Rivera approached, his team assembled.
Vire ready, ma'am.
EMPs charged, breaching tools set.
Awaiting your go.
Hannah nodded. Sync with the cyber team. I want eyes on that blind spot before you move. She tapped her headset. Larson, get me a line to the grid operators. I need their status. Larson patched her through. A harried plant manager's voice crackled. Major, we're holding, but systems are crashing. If you don't stop this, we're dark in 3 hours. We'll stop it, Hannah said, her tone firm. Keep your teams ready. She cut the line, her mind on the data center. Blackout thought they were untouchable, but she'd outmaneuver them. Wells called from the tent. Ma'am, we've got a partial breach in the cooling network. It's unstable, but we can disrupt their servers' temperature controls, slow their attack. Good, Hannah said. Use it to rattle them. Turn up the heat, literally. A stressed server could force Blackout to divert resources, giving her team an edge.
Rivera's voice came true.
Teams in position, 500 yards from the service door. Drone shows guards switching now. Hannah checked her watch, 22:10. Hold until 22:15. Wells, be ready to move with them. The drone feed flickered on the monitor, casting a pale glow across Hannah Mitchell's face as she stood in the command tent. Her eyes tracked Captain Ethan Rivera's strike team, their silhouettes creeping through the brush toward the data center service door. The clock read 2,214 hours, and the Midwest power grid teetered on the edge of collapse. Blackout's malware had already triggered rolling outages in Ohio, and Indiana's plants were minutes from failure. Hannah's plan, synchronize a physical breach with a cyber assault, was in motion, but the margin for error was razor-thin. Outside, the ops hub buzzed with disciplined chaos. Soldiers checked gear, analysts typed furiously, and Humvees idled under floodlights. Hannah's fatigues clung to her, the tactical vest a familiar weight. Captain Mia Larson stood beside her, relaying grid updates through her headset. "Ma'am, Illinois plants reporting critical failures. We've got 2 hours before a full blackout." Hannah nodded, her focus on the drone feed. Rivera's team reached the service door, a steel slab hidden in the data center's concrete facade. The guard's shift change had left a 30-second blind spot, and Rivera's EMP device was primed to fry the biometric lock. Lieutenant Jacob Wells, the cyber analyst, crouched behind the team, his laptop ready to exploit the cooling network. Hannah tapped her headset.
Rivera, Status. In Position, Rivera Whisperet.
EMP's hot. Guards are clear.
Ready on your go.
Hannah checked the feed. The perimeter was quiet, the 2 guards now patrolling the main gate, oblivious. "Execute," she said, her voice steady. Rivera's team moved. The EMP pulsed, a faint hum, and the lock's panel sparked.
The door clicked open.
Rivera signaled, and his 6 operators slipped inside, Wells trailing with his gear. Their helmet cams fed grainy visuals to the tent, a dim corridor, concrete walls, the hum of servers below. Hannah's fingers tapped her vest, her old habit under pressure. She'd led cyber ops before, but Blackout's domestic anarchy, targeting hospitals, emergency systems, hit harder.
Larson flagget her.
"Ma'am, Wells is in the auxiliary network. He's spiking the cooling system's temp. Servers are overheating."
Blackouts reacting, diverting resources.
"Good," Hannah said. "Keep them rattled." The thermal stress would slow their malware, buying time. She turned to the strike team's feed. Rivera's operators stacked up at a stairwell, descending to the server room. 2 guards patrolled the first level, their radios crackling. Rivera whispered, "Engaging." His team moved like shadows, darts from silenced pistols dropping the guards before they could react. The bodies were dragged into a closet, zip-tied. "First level clear," Rivera reported. "Moving to servers." Hannah exhaled, her eyes on the cams. The server room was below, a fortified vault where Blackout's lead coder, Spectre, ran the attack. Wells needed physical access to plant a kill switch, a custom device to neutralize the malware. But the room was a choke point, likely guarded. "Rivera," Hannah said, "expect resistance."
Wells, preps a switch.
"Copy," Wells replied, his voice tense. His cam showed him typing furiously, the cooling network's controls now fully compromised. Alarms blared in the facility, red lights flashing. Blackout's team would be scrambling. The drone feed showed movement outside, 2 guards rushing toward the service door, alerted by the alarms. Hannah's jaw tightened. "Larson, get a sniper on those guards."
Non-lethal.
Larson relayed the order. Seconds later, a sniper's dart dropped 1 guard, the second dove behind a crate, firing wildly. Rivera's team, now at the server room door, froze as bullets echoed above. "Ma'am, we're pinned," Rivera said. "Guards got the exit covered." Hannah's mind raced. The sniper could suppress the guard, but a firefight risked alerting Blackout's core team.
Rivera, hold position.
"Wells, can you loop their cameras?" "On it," Wells said. His fingers flew, hijacking the facility's surveillance. The guard's feed now showed an empty corridor. He lowered his rifle, confused, and the sniper's dart took him down. "Exit clear," Larson confirmed. Hannah nodded.
Rivera, brich the server room.
"Now." The team stacked up, planting a low-yield breaching charge. The door blew inward, smoke curling. Rivera's operators rushed in, their cams showing a cavernous room, rows of humming servers, blue LEDs pulsing. 3 Blackout operatives spun, raising pistols, but Rivera's team was faster. Darts dropped 2, the third surrendered, hands up. "Room secured," Rivera said.
Wells, Jure up.
Wells rushed to a central terminal, plugging in his kill switch. His cam showed lines of code scrolling, Blackout's malware, mutating in real time. "It's fighting back," Wells muttered. "Need 5 minutes to override." Hannah checked her watch, 22:30. The grid was faltering, hospitals switching to generators. "You've got 3, she said.
Rivera, Secure the Room.
Spectres still unaccounted for. The feed showed Rivera's team fanning out, checking corners. A hidden panel slid open, and a figure, lean hooded Spectre, bolted for a side exit. Rivera lunged, tackling him. Spectre fought, a knife flashing, but Rivera's operator pinned him, cuffs snapping on. Spectre's down, Rivera reported. Hannah's shoulders eased, but she stayed sharp.
Wells Progress.
Almost there, Wells said, sweat beading. Malware's slowing, kill switches integrating. The server room's alarms quieted, the overheating servers stabilizing as Wells' code took hold.
La zone's voice coûte trug.
Ma'am, grid operators report partial recovery in Ohio. Indiana's still critical, but we're gaining. Hannah nodded, her focus on the feed. Spectre, now unhooded, was a pale man in his 40s, glaring defiantly. She grabbed her headset. Rivera, interrogate him. I want their backup plans. Rivera's cam showed him leaning over Spectre. Talk. What's your fallback? Spectre smirked.
Jure Tolate.
The grid's just the start. Water systems, transit, they're next. Hannah's blood chilled. Blackout had planned a cascade. Cripple one system, then another. Wells, she snapped, check for secondary attacks. Now. Wells pivoted. The command tent thrummed with tension as Hannah Mitchell watched the drone feed, her gray eyes locked on the strike team's extraction from the data center. Captain Ethan Rivera's operators hauled Spectre, Blackout's lead coder, toward waiting Humvees, their helmet cams bouncing with each step. Hard drives packed with Blackout's malware were secured, and Lieutenant Jacob Wells' kill switch had neutralized the primary attack on the Midwest power grid. But Spectre's taunt, secondary targets like water systems and transit, gnawed at Hannah. She'd stopped the grid attack, but Blackout's anarchists were cunning, and the clock read 2,245 hours. Time was a luxury she didn't have. Outside, the ops hub was a hive of motion. Soldiers loading gear, analysts syncing data, floodlights cutting the dark. Hannah's fatigues were damp with sweat, her tactical vest heavy but steadying. Captain Mia Larson approached, her tablet flashing with grid updates. Ma'am, Ohio and Illinois plants are stable, but Indiana's still reporting glitches. Blackout may have a backup server we missed. Hannah's jaw tightened. A backup server meant Blackout could relaunch their attack, bypassing Wells' kill switch. She tapped her headset. Wells, any trace of a secondary network in those drives? Wells, now in a tech van outside, replied through static. Scanning now, ma'am. Found encrypted fragments. Could be a remote server. Need time to decrypt.
Make it fast, Hannah Said.
She turned to Rivera's feed. His team was clear of the data center, Spectre cuffed in a Humvee.
Rivera, any intel from Spectre?
He's clammed up, Rivera said, his voice gruff. Keeps smirking, like he's got an ace. Hannah's mind raced. Spectre's confidence suggested a fallback, another facility, another team. She'd seen this before with domestic cells, layered plans, hidden redundancies. Her first op, a militia hack, had taught her to trust her gut. Larson, she said, cross-reference Blackout's chatter for alternate sites. Focus on local, within 50 miles. Larson nodded, diving into her laptop. Hannah studied the drone feed, now showing the data center's exterior, its lights dimmed. No explosives had been found, but Spectre's words felt like a trap. She grabbed her tablet, pulling up regional infrastructure maps. Water treatment plants, train networks, Blackout's manifesto craved chaos, and those were prime targets. Wells' voice crackled.
Ma'am, got the meeting.
Decrypted data points to a warehouse, 15 miles south. It's a leased site, low profile, but it's got high bandwidth connections, perfect for a backup server. Hannah's pulse spiked. Coordinates. Wells sent them. The warehouse was in an industrial park, unassuming but close to a major water treatment facility. Larson, Hannah said, any chatter from that location? Pinging now, Larson said. Her screen lit up. Intercepted a burst transmission, short, encrypted, 10 minutes ago. It's active. Hannah's decision was instant. Rivera, redirect your team to that warehouse. Take Wells. Silent approach, same playbook, EMP breach, non-lethal if possible. She turned to Larson. Prep a second team for support. I want drones over that site now.
Rivera's voice came trug. Copy, ma'am.
ETA 12 minutes. His Humvees peeled out, their headlights fading into the night. Hannah stepped outside, the air sharp with pine and diesel. The ops hub's floodlights caught soldiers prepping a backup team. 6 operators led by Sergeant Ava Chen, 29, a lean explosives expert.
Hannah briefed her.
Chen, you're on standby. If Rivera's team hits resistance, you move in. Expect armed guards, possible traps. Chen saluted.
Understood, ma'am.
Her team loaded rifles and breaching tools, their faces set. The drone feed switched to the warehouse, a boxy structure surrounded by chain link and abandoned lots. 2 guards patrolled, handguns visible.
Hannah's eyes narrowed.
Blackout was sloppy, reusing the same low-rent muscle. Wells, she said, can you hack their cameras? Trying, Wells replied. Their network's weaker, basic encryption. I'm in. The feed showed looped footage on the guards' monitors, masking Rivera's approach. Hannah checked her watch, 2300. Indiana's grid was still vulnerable, and a water plant attack could poison thousands. She grabbed her headset.
Rivera, status.
500 yards out, Rivera said. Drone shows blind spot at the east fence.
Emps ready.
Execute at 2310, Hannah ordered. Wells, prep to shut down their servers the second you're inside. She turned to Larson. Get me the water plant's security chief. Larson patched her through. A gruff voice answered. Major, we're seeing anomalies in our control systems. Pumps are erratic.
What's happening?
Stay calm, Hannah said. We're neutralizing the threat.
Lockdown manual controls, no remote access.
She cut the line, her focus on the feed. Rivera's team reached the fence, their EMP pulsing. The east door's lock sparked, and they slipped inside. Helmet cams showed a dark warehouse, crates, cables, a glow from below. 3 blackout operatives worked at terminals, unaware. Rivera's team darted too, the third raising his hands. Server room secured, Rivera reported.
Wells is in.
Wells' cam showed him at a server rack, plugging in a new kill switch. Backup malware's here, he said. Targeting water plants and rail systems. It's live but contained. 2 minutes to shut it down. Hannah exhaled, but Spectre's smirk haunted her. Rivera, sweep for traps.
Chen, move to the warehouse, perimeter only.
Chen's team rolled out, their Humvees roaring. The feed flickered, motion sensors tripped. A hidden blackout operative, missed in the sweep, fired a pistol. Rivera's team ducked, returning darts. The shooter fell, but an alarm blared. Perimeter guards are alerted, Rivera said. The ops hub pulsed with a hard-won calm as Hannah Mitchell stood in the command tent, her eyes fixed on the monitor's after-action report. Captain Ethan Rivera's team had returned from the warehouse, their Humvees unloading 3 blackout operatives and a cache of server drives. Lieutenant Jacob Wells' kill switch had neutralized the backup malware targeting water treatment plants and rail systems, and the Midwest power grid was stabilizing. But Spectre's chilling words, "The grid's just the start," echoed in Hannah's mind. It was 2,315 hours, and Blackout's anarchist cell might still have one last play. She wouldn't rest until they were finished. The tent buzzed with analysts cross-referencing data, their keyboards a steady rhythm. Outside, floodlights illuminated soldiers securing the perimeter, their rifles glinting. Hannah's fatigues were streaked with dust, her tactical vest a second skin. Captain Mia Larson approached, her tablet glowing with updates. "Ma'am, all targeted systems, grid, water, rail, are back online. No new breaches detected, but Blackout's chatter's gone silent. Too silent." Hannah's jaw tightened.
Ze längse mint planning. Chet sehen etwas militia hackers, quid before a desperate finalstrecke.
"Dig deeper," she ordered. "Check for low-frequency signals, burner phones, anything off-grid." She tapped her headset. "Wells, any leads from the warehouse drives?" Wells, Hunched in a tech van, replied, "Found a deleted file, ma'am. It's fragmented, but mentions a failsafe. A physical device, maybe a trigger for another attack.
Could be at a third site."
Hannah's pulse spiked. A failsafe device, explosive, chemical, or worse, could devastate civilian infrastructure. Her first op, a near miss with a militia bomb, flashed in her mind.
No repeats.
Location? She asked. Best guess, a storage unit, 5 miles east, Wells said. It's a blackout front, rented under a shell company.
I'm pulling coordinates.
Hannah turned to Larson. Prep Rivera's team for another hit. Same size, add Sergeant Ava Chun for explosives. She studied her tablet's regional map, pinpointing the storage facility near a commuter rail hub, a perfect target for Blackout's chaos. Larson, alert rail security.
Lock it down.
Larson nodded, relaying orders. Hannah grabbed her headset. Rivera, new target, storage unit, possible failsafe device. ETA 10 minutes. Silent approach, expect guards. Copy, ma'am, Rivera said. His team, still wired from the warehouse, reloaded gear and rolled out, Chin joining with her bomb kit. The drone feed switched to the storage facility, a grid of metal units, dimly lit, 2 guards patrolling with handguns.
Hannah's Eisnarot.
Blackout's pattern, cheap muscle, high stakes, held.
Wells flagget her. Got a signal trace, ma'am. The failsafe is active, broadcasting a low pulse.
It's in Unit 17, but it's rigged, motion sensors, maybe a detonator. Hannah's stomach knotted. A rigged device meant one wrong move could end it all. Chun, she said, you're on point for disarming.
Wells, can you jam the sensors?
Partially, Wells said. I'll need line of sight, 20 yards out. Risky if guards spot me. Do it, Hannah said. Rivera, cover him. She checked her watch, 23:30. The rail hub was a mile away, packed with late-night commuters. A detonation there could kill dozens. The drone feed showed Rivera's team at the facility's fence, their EMP frying a camera. They slipped through, Chun scanning for traps. The guards, unaware, chatted by a gate. Rivera's darts dropped them silently, their bodies stashed behind a dumpster.
Perimeter clear, Rivera whisperet.
Hannah watched their cams, her fingers tapping her vest. Unit 17 was a corner unit, its door wired with a blinking sensor.
Chen's voice came trug.
Confirmed detonator, ma'am.
C4, remote trigger.
I can disarm, but it's tight, 3 minutes. Work fast, Hannah said. Wells, jam that signal. Wells' cam showed him crouched behind a unit, his device humming. The sensor's blink slowed, giving Chun a window. Larson's voice cut in. Ma'am, rail hub's locked down, but we've got reports of a blackout sympathizer in the area. Lone actor, possibly armed. Hannah's blood chilled.
A Sympathizer kult bi Blackouts Lastkart, a Distraction Ohrvase.
Get local PD on it, she ordered.
Description, location, now.
Larson relayed the alert, her screen flashing with a police report. Male, 30s, backpack, near the rail hub. Chen's cam showed her at the detonator, her tools steady. Cutting the primary wire, she said.
1 Minute.
The feed was tense, her breath audible. Hannah held hers, the team's precision her lifeline.
Rivera's voice broke trug.
Guard missed in the sweep, ma'am. He's at the gate, armed. A new cam showed a third guard, pistol raised, scanning the dark.
Rivera's team frotze, Chen mitkut.
Hannah's mind raced. Rivera, neutralize him. Silent. Rivera signaled, and a dart dropped the guard before he could fire.
Chen exhalet, clipping the Finalvire.
Detonator's dead, she said. C4's safe. Relief surged, but Hannah stayed sharp.
Secure the Davis, extrast now.
The team moved, Chin bagging the C4, Rivera hauling the drives. Wells grabbed a laptop from the unit, its screen still active.
Larson flagget her.
PD detained the sympathizer. Backpack had smoke grenades, no explosives. He's talking, says Blackout's done. Hannah nodded, but Spectre's smirk lingered. She grabbed her headset.
Rivera, full sweep. No surprises.
The team checked every unit, finding only empty crates. The facility was clean. The drone showed Humvees pulling up, the team loading out. Hannah stepped outside, dawn's first gray streaking the sky. The ops hub quieted, soldiers standing down. Larson joined her, tablet in hand. All systems, grid, water, rail, are clear. Blackout's network is offline.
We got them. Hannah exhaled, the weight lifting.
She'd stopped 3 attacks, grid, backup servers, failsafe, saving millions from chaos. Spectre and his cell were in custody, their plans gutted. She turned to Rivera, Chen, and Wells, now back at the hub. Standout work, she said, her voice firm but warm. You made this happen. Rivera grinned.
Just another night, ma'am.
Chen and Wells nodded, exhaustion in their eyes but pride in their stance. Hannah's phone buzzed. Owen Parker, Hannah, you're on the news.
Major?
Incredible. She pocketed it. The Gala, Claire's taunts, Tyler's arrogance, Brooke's cruelty, was a faint echo. She'd faced her past not in that ballroom but here, in the dark, where her decisions saved lives. As the team debriefed, Hannah climbed into a Humvee, the ops hub fading behind. The sunrise glowed gold, a new day breaking. Blackout was done, but other threats would rise. She was Major Mitchell, forged in pressure, ready for the next fight. The road stretched ahead, and she leaned back, her mind already turning to what came next.